Hey, wagwan, what you lot? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hold on, let me set you up right, okay? You comfortable? How about now? This good? Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back, friend.
I want to sing a song just for you. 'Cause you're my special friend. Special friend.
Friend of me? I don't know what you are. Hopefully you are a friend of me. A friend of me, not a friend of me. Huh? Get it? Get it? Okay. Today we're gonna be talking about smoking weed versus eating edibles. Pros and cons. Reaction. So honestly, for me, I rock with edibles more than weed. Edibles just have have a delayed gratification, or you have the delayed result of edibles. But when you smoke, your lung takes it in pretty rapidly, so that's the main thing. But when you smoke as well, you can also get black lips, your lips get dark, and obviously you have to deal with the smell, right? There's no issue with smell necessarily when it comes to edibles, but if you're living with your parents or you're living with roommates who don't like weed, it can cause a problem. So from my perspective as of right now, it is edibles, but we will see what he has to say.
You're walking down the road weary from your travels, and you're stopped by a bunch of gangsters in the middle of the Bronx. It's New York City for those that aren't familiar. You're in a scary place, and the gangster picks you up and says, "Hey, I got a Jeopardy question for you. If you answer incorrectly, I'm gonna shoot you, fool. If you answer it correctly, you don't get shot, fool." And he runs this hypothesis by you. You got a clump of edibles in one hand, a clump of weed in the other hand. Which one's litter? And you might ask yourself, wow, the answer to that question is kind of similar to the answer behind what's quantum superpositioning. Who the fuck knows? So today I'm going to kind of compare and contrast the two, the pros and cons of each one, not only to help you if you're ever in this situation where you're being questioned by a gangster in the Bronx, but also because I myself don't really know. Also, if my eyes look red as fuck in this, it's not from smoking the devil's lettuce. It's from putting in contacts that had hand sanitizer all over them. It's probably not the most efficient way and healthy for your eyes way to kill the germs on the contacts. But seeing as how my chromosome count fluctuates between average and slightly above average, I used hand sanitizer. I think one of the first things and most important things to really think about when you're deciding on what's better between smoking and eating an edible, you gotta think about how easy it is to do each one. Now, for starters, when it comes to smoking, you're gonna have to roll it, or you're gonna have to get a piece, a bong, a Gatorade bottle, an apple, a tree stump, whatever it may be. So not only do you have to buy something, depending on what you buy, you also have to roll it, so you have to know how to roll. A lot of you out there might be like, that's literally the smallest problem I have ever heard in my life. I don't know how to roll, so for me, it would be probably the largest problem. If you've ever seen me roll, I'm gonna roll something real quick, just to show you what my roll would look like. As you can see in this blunt rolling tutorial, at a certain point, you give up and you just wrap the entire thing in tape. And then when you bring it to your homies to smoke, they literally think that whatever you just rolled.
At least he's bringing something to the table. You know them ones, those people that all they bring is the backwoods. They don't even bring actual weed. Every time they always ask you for your weed, always ask you for your edible, whatever it is. But they don't contribute. All they want to do is leech. No productivity. Come on. Contribute to the pile.
No, I had a reason. I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I had a reason.
What was the reason?
I just explained the reason.
What was the reason?
Backwards is not enough. The rolling paper is not enough.
Lungs in the fires of hell. So there's that. On the other hand, if you're smoking out of a bowl or a bong, obviously it's a lot easier, but then you have to go out and buy that, and that's an extra piece. And if you're below 18, then you can't, I don't think, or maybe it's below 21, I don't really remember. But the other thing about edibles is that edibles are just easy to eat, but there's a whole other process when it comes to making them. And then ultimately at that point, you have to actually buy all the ingredients for it. You have to have a place, and you also have to have a fuck ton of time. Because I think it usually takes about 4 to 6 hours depending on what you're doing. You also
more than likely you won't have to make it, or you shouldn't even make it, I would say. Because the dosage level, I've seen some comments on my edible video, like marijuana edibles for beginners, the official guide, courtesy of myself. And when you make it at home, you don't know the actual dosage amount that you're actually using. So as a beginner, or anybody, for example, I always recommend starting off with either 5 milligrams or 10 milligrams. 10 milligrams if you really have a high tolerance, but 5 milligrams if you've never smoked weed before, or never ate edibles before, or you're just getting more used into the weed in general, right? Start with 5 milligrams, wait about 30 minutes to an hour, then take another 5 milligrams so that you can gradually microdose your receptors, your cannabinoid receptors, to the idea of edible. Because edibles, if you're not careful, it can take effect anywhere from 2 to even 4 hours if you take a higher dose. The lower your dosage, the more you're able to experience it in a quicker time period. But the higher your dosage, you might not feel it right then and there, but it'll kick in at inopportune times. So start with 5 milligrams or 10 milligrams, and then every 30 minutes to an hour, take another 5 milligrams so that you can gradually experience that high, like a roller coaster, you know? You don't want to all of a sudden be at the top of the roller coaster. You want to gradually get there and enjoy it.
Me too, I guess the same thing as having the knowledge on how to roll. So they're kind of equivalent in that sense as far as what knowledge you need. But I imagine going out and buying a bowl is a lot easier than going out and buying everything that you need to make edibles. But you thought that smoking took the point on this one, but B-U-T-T, as rare as it can be to in general have somebody selling edibles, you can just buy edibles normally instead of making them yourself. So that kind of bypasses everything, and then all of a sudden you just have something that you can eat versus something that you have to put into a bowl or smoke or whatever. So I think assuming you have someone to buy it from, edibles are probably a lot more convenient. Now the other thing that I think is obvious about how convenient it is, if you're smoking the weed, it obviously smells. And also I have a video coming in a day or two about how to discreetly smoke your devil's lettuce, so that'll be coming soon. And then obviously if you have edibles, it doesn't really smell. But the thing about edibles, this really depends, and this may just be a case-by-case thing, but I made them one time, and if you want the recipe, too fucking bad, you can't have it. It's super strong, and it's my secret recipe. I got it from somebody else, so it's not really mine, but I wonder if I could sell it. But I had these edibles that I made, and they tasted like, I'll give you a good representation of what they taste like. Go to your nearest pond and find like a bunch of geese when they're shitting in the water. Get a net, like scoop up all that, maybe like get some scum from the bottom of the pond as well. Go home, let it dry out for about a day, maybe 3 days, you know, and then put it in the microwave. No, actually, put it in the oven at 450 degrees for about, I don't know, 2 hours, and then taste it. That's what these edibles tasted like. And I gotta say, they didn't smell, but the taste itself was something that I would choose.
Them analogies. That's why you're better off just buying the edible, looking at the reviews, looking at, you know, is it 5 star, is it 4 star, and then going from there. Also, something to keep in mind is that the more empty your stomach is, the more likely you are to, the edible is to process into your body, right? So if you've just eaten, it'll take even longer to process into your body than if you are on an empty stomach. That's what I'm looking for. If you're on an empty stomach, it'll take effect maybe even times 2 the actual time period, or times 1.5, right? But if you just ate something else, it'll take effect longer period of time. So it's just that with the edible, I would say the main con is that you don't know exactly the precise time period by which you'll feel the effects. So you could be sleeping and all of a sudden you wake up, you're high, right? But with smoking it, you can instantly feel it, right? Also, a very big important tip, right, for anybody out there who smokes, understand that the environment by which you are in and the people around you also affect your experience. What do I mean by that? If you are scared of being caught with some type of weed in some form, it'll likely heighten the likelihood of you feeling anxiety or some type of paranoia, right? And also, if you smoke too much at a time, your body is not used to it, and as a result, you can definitely tip the scale of the paranoia that you might feel. And also, so if you want to avoid doing that, or if it happens, have lemon or black pepper on hand.
Got one of these beauties lying around? Lemon pulp, zest, and peels are full of terpenes, which can help regulate THC levels. A glass of fresh lemonade may be just what you need. Hey, let's visit your spice cabinet. Got any fresh peppercorns? There are chemicals in peppercorns that can help bring you down from a high. Grind some of these little guys, give them a sniff. Don't worry if you sneeze a couple of times. Your brains are still in your head. You're good.
So for the lemon, in the case of a lemon, you tell the person, or you yourself, you bite into the lemon, and as a result, it helps you get out of your own head and become present into the bitter taste of the lemon. So you are now in the present moment. But when you have anxiety or paranoia, you're thinking about, oh, will this person catch me? Will I be in trouble? You're too much in your own head, essentially. So, and then also, if you have black pepper, you sniff it, and the stuffy feeling that you get when you sniff black pepper, also makes you more present into the smell as opposed to being in your own head. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Vodka ramen, almost over it. there's no way in hell I would actually choose vodka ramen over it. But the fact that it comes so close just tells you that sometimes edibles don't taste that good. But ultimately, I think if it reduces the chances of you getting caught, I think your tongue can take one for the team. I would probably take a shitty taste over a smell if this smell was important and I needed to keep it low-key. And on the low-key side of things, you can walk around downtown wherever you want with a brownie held up high in the sky. No one's gonna say anything. If you walk around in most places with a giant nug of weed up in the air like this, you're going to jail. Honestly, Duck Squad, in my experience, the biggest difference between smoking and eating edibles is how well you can control it, right? So if you're smoking, like you can feel the come up as you're going. You can stop at any time, you know? And once you stop, you're not gonna feel that much higher than you did when you stopped. However, once you eat an edible, you're on for the trip. You're on. You are strapped in. There's no stopping it. Once you've eaten it, you don't know how it's gonna react, all right? You're just there. There's no coming down from it. You've eaten it. You're done, son. That's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, it could also be seen as a good thing because usually edibles are going to be a lot stronger than your average weed toke. But the inability to control it is probably something that some people might want to be wary of. So that really only matters as a con or pro if you actually care about that. Same way with it being discreet really only matters as a pro or con if you care about it. But honestly, after running down the list, you know, this isn't really like an advice video. As I said, this very much is like me trying to decide what I like better. You know, I feel like I should phrase the video title like as to be a question as what do I like better between the two. And I think ultimately, I'll say it like this. I don't fucking know. Like, honestly, and I think the biggest thing is that I've smoked weed a lot, but I've only done edibles a few times, and of the few times, I actually did have a bad experience on it. You guys might know the story time of when I went to college on accident and went to an exam when I was on an edible, and it was probably one of the top 10 worst experiences ever. But then every other time that I've taken it and it worked and I felt the feelings fully, it was lit. And the other thing about it is that there was a time for like a year, maybe a year.
Don't trust anybody that just gives you an edible, right? If it's an edible, anytime you're at a party, just be cautious of your surroundings and cautious of what you consume or where you leave your drink for that matter, right? So ask them how much THC is in this edible. If they don't know, you may not want to take it.
Hey Jason.
No thank you, no thank you, no thank you.
Always be mindful of what you're putting into your body when it has a mind-altering substance attached to it, potentially, right? So, yeah.
And a half where I really didn't fuck with smoking weed because it just gave me like bad trips every time. It was some weird shit, I don't know. But in that same time, I had taken edibles, and the edibles didn't make me feel like paranoid or anxious or anything. So I think edibles honestly have a better chance of keeping you chill, and it's more of a body high versus a mind high, so I will say that. You know, I thought about it just now, and I think I might just do a live stream of doing edibles and then tell you how it is. And then maybe like a week later do a live stream just getting high as shit. But I think I'll be a lot less functioning if I smoke a bunch versus if I have some edibles. But I don't know, we'll see. But as of now, I want to say it's tied with the slight favor towards edibles. I can't really say for sure though, but if you guys comment down below like what you like more, if you have done both of them. Because it's kind of a split decision on my part. But speaking of live streams though, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw my Instagram live story this morning, or I guess it's still on my story now.
So, case closed. Edibles, victory.
We won, yeah. They suck, yeah. We here, yeah. They not, nope.
Thank you, Trey.
10 out of 10, or maybe not 10 out of 10. What's my rating for edibles? I'll give it 8.5 out of 10 because it's less physical body impacts. Like you don't get black lips. There's no smell on you or in your room. Smoking, potential damage to your lungs. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. But yo, if you want to not get caught, full breakdown. Maybe you need a smoke buddy. If you're smoking, you prefer smoking. Links in the description, the pinned comment, and in the cards up here. And if you feel like you are in the camp of people who want to maybe take a tolerance break or quit weed for a week, 30 days, or forever, links in the description for all relevant material. As always, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it. And too much of any good thing is good for nothing. How are you lot doing today? I'm doing more, saying less, and keeping that same energy. No cap. Flip the script. I'm out. Deuces.
What Jay's little baby like, whoa, she came my way, and I felt it all go when she say my name. Little shorty want me for the love, not fame, but yeah, I still got a flex in my off-white J. Y'all know I don't do it for the glam. I ain't gotta say